G'day ladies and gentlemen, hope you've been well and welcome to another video. So here is my 1989 R31 Ti Skyline that we picked up in our previous episode. And this car has been sitting in my mate's front yard for about 3 years now. Hasn't run, fuel's varnished, starter doesn't work, fuel pump's gone. This is a Ti model. We're missing the front honeycomb grille and the front bonnet. It's been converted to an S3 front, just a GX front, but we have all the Ti interior still in it. Been really well looked after in here. So in today's video, we're going to try and get her running after 3 years of sitting. Not a very long time, but enough time for stuff to go wrong. Even standing here right now, the fuel varnish smell is horrendous. And yes, I am at my other place. So we've got the LSVL over there and the FDRX7 right there. So a lot of work happening to that car off camera. So there'll be a video on that soon, of course, and that one soon. But right now we're going to focus on this thing and we want to get her running. That way I can drive her back to my other joint. So in my daily behind me, we have a whole bunch of parts to go in the car, some fresh fuel, stuff like that. We also picked up a fuel pump off eBay. So this is a 31 fuel pump. Didn't go anything fancy because it's just a stock car. So you can see how long the car's been sitting by how much dust and crap's accumulated in this engine bay, as well as on the outside of the car. It looks disgusting, but I'm not going to clean it until we get it running. I want to get it running in the exact state it is right now. So the only thing we're really missing in here is our power steering belt has gone bye-byes. Also air conditioner, don't worry about that. This isn't the original engine. It's been swapped over when my friend had it. We're missing a battery, but we have brought one with us. And I've only got a couple of hours today because we are doing a timing belt and water pump on the Sexcel over there. So I've only got about 2-3 hours, so I'm going to get right into it. First thing I'm going to do is jack up the car. Actually, no, first thing I'm going to put some air in the tyres. We're going to get the car just raised up ever so slightly because these tyres are slightly ballooned at the bottom. The only thing as well is I haven't got this this attachment. There's some wheel nuts on the back of this car that have this like large Allen sort of nut, so I'm going to figure out how the hell I'm going to get those off because I've got TI wheels to go on this car. But I'll put some air in the tyres, we're going to jack the front up, and we're going to try and drain as much fuel out the back. So if we come here and open the butt up, this is what we'll work. Oh my god, that smell, poor. If you haven't smelled varnished fuel before, please just don't. In the last video we look at all the crap that's run out of that old fuel pump though. This is sitting here. Ugh. I wonder if this thing died. We put power to it and it was completely dead. But yeah, that's our old fuel there we have to get out, so hopefully we can get that out with a it's got a drain at the back. Even when I undo the drain, the fuel's not coming out, so I think it's just pulled in the front of the tank. I'm going to jack the car up and see if that fuel will want to come towards the drain. I've got a pan under the car already. It's all ready to go. So that's what I'm going to do first. Get some air in these tyres. Alright guys, so we have the tyres pumped up to about 32 psi. They all were about 15, so they've come down evenly, which is good, no punctures. Now I've got the air gun here. You can see our line is leaking here because of all the fuel coming out of it. So I really want to blow through both lines. So one will be return, one will be feed. So I want to blow through them, make sure you get all that shit out. And that should all be coming out. Look at that. Yeah, perfect. All that fuel's coming out there. So I just want to get all this shit out. Pull this fuel filter off here and we'll get a good look inside that too. There is so much fuel that come out of these lines, you can see it all. Also gave the intake plenum a blow through as well. So just a little light blow through in that and all this fuel just dumped out. Same with this here. I've blown all these completely dry. So here we have our fuel filters. So there's our new one. Old one isn't too bad. Wouldn't mind cutting it open and seeing it, but probably won't go that far. Here's a new one here. It says out here, so our fuel delivery comes through here and then out there. So we'll whack that one in. That'll sit in there like so. And then once we get all this fuel system sorted, we have to pull the starter motor out, which is down there. And we have another starter in the boot. But yeah, apparently this is a good starter, so. But yeah, I'm gonna button all this fuel system up. We'll get the new pump in the cradle, sit that in the tank, but I've got to drain all that fuel out first. And then I'll show you what she's doing while she won't crank. It'd be funny if I put the key in today and it cranks over. God, I'll be pissed, but I'll be pretty happy. So I've jacked her right up at the front there. And we have the pan underneath and I can hear it weaking. Probably still going, I'm not sure. Yeah, she's draining the old fuel out. Awesome. So we'll drain as much as we can out of that. If there's any residue left, we'll do the old cable tie rag on a stick. Saves us dropping the tank. So yeah, I've got the fuel filter all sorted. I'm pretty sure I did them the right way. I cannot remember, so I'm just going to quickly Google a photo to make sure it's all good. We'll get that fuel system as clean as we can, because if we run on that varnished fuel, I guarantee those plugs will foul up 100%. They'll foul the plugs. Also guys, I just looked at my phone and I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone because we just hit 12,000 subs. That is insane. 12,000. Thank you so much. That's amazing. I appreciate it so much. Watching a guy work on shit in his driveway and his garage. Yeah, thank you so much. I can't say it enough. This is what gets me so excited to do this kind of thing, and I can share it with everyone, and you guys can go out and do the same thing as I do, because I'm just an average Joe that works in my driveway. Always have been, always will be. I've got to rig up some fuel line for our cradle because I had to cut the old one there. That goes down into the pump. So I'm going to pull this cradle out and we'll get our new pump ready to go in. Well guys, I have some bad news. Good news is we have the new pump in the cradle ready to go. We got most of the fuel out of the tank. There's still some in there. So right at the bottom, I'm going to try and get that out because I don't want that pump sitting in that crap. Look at all the shit I have here to try and get that pump to fit. It was for a 31, but like there's new stuff on it. So obviously you got to make them fit. So the pump itself's a bit wider, so the carrier's spread more open. So I had to put new fuel line there, new clamp, bolts on it, all that stuff. So the only problem is I've ran out of time. So I have to go get the timing belt done on the XL. So we're gonna go now. So I'll be coming back in 2 days, and which will be in the same video. We're gonna get this car running. We're gonna try, we're gonna get running. I can feel it. So when we come back in a couple of days, we'll whack that pump in, put the new starter in, and fingers crossed, she will roar into life. But I'm glad I cleaned all that crap out. I'll see you guys in 2 days. Well guys, we are back. We are back and we're on the head cam. Look at this, fantastic. So it's been a few days since we were last with the vehicle. So just off camera, I drained as much as I could out of that tank. There was almost nothing left, so I've put 5 litres of fresh fuel over there back in. So now what we're gonna do is put this Duvalaki back in, making sure it sits right in the swirl pot. Hopefully you guys can see me. I actually got you on the phone over here, so if you can see yourself, so I can make sure that you're in frame. But we're gonna make sure this slots in. There we go, almost in. Gotta move those lines out the way. I feel like the pump's too low. Is the pump too low? Shouldn't be. You know what we haven't done, guys? I just remembered. I've got to put a big hose clamp around there. I found the old fucking... I found the old fuel sock. Oh, that's disgusting. Maybe that's what we're getting stuck on. All right, so with a bit of maneuvering and swearing and carrying on, we managed to get the pump in there. Now with these bolts, they are the easiest thing to strip. So go down in very small increments. Otherwise, if you try and tighten it down, it doesn't want to naturally tighten down, they will strip very easily. This is the fun part, getting these fuel lines on too. So we want to go back, Jesus Christ. Why don't you want to go back even? Oh, fuck sakes. Go, get on the fucking, get on the fucking, get on the fucking, get on the, get on the fucking. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh shit. Get on it. Okay. Ooh, I touched the stuff. Now tell me guys, do you like the POV or not? I love POV. Yeah. Try these ones. One of these. And we don't want to destroy the fuel line, we just want to grab it by the clamp and pull her over. Oh god. Sometimes I like to spray a bit of WD-40 over those. Help them slip on. I do not have WD-40, do I? Now, I do not have WD-40, so tire shine. Give it some lube. Right, we'll get one on first. Sometimes you can get a flathead in there and just sort of like that. And then, yeah, we go. Oh shit, I don't want to destroy that hose. Hopefully that will just sort of settle on. All right guys, so I got the fuel pump tightened up, plugged in over there, so we have it all finished up. We got both lines in there all tightened up. So now I'm going to hook the battery up, turn the key and see if we get a prime. Okay, positive, negative. Now we're going to listen very carefully for a hum. We got fuel pump, awesome. Actually, I'm going to prime it. I'm going to see if we've got any leaks. There's still no crank. No leaks there, good. Let's have a look at the front. So this should all be pressurized now. Oh yeah, you feel the difference. So that's got pressure in the line, that's got nothing. So one thing I want to do is there's some different plugs and stuff on this starter that I want to just try. So I'll turn the key off. So right now we've got no crank, so I will just give the starter a few taps. So there's two plugs here. So one of them should be the earth for our starter. It's not, oh shit, that was my watch getting stuck. So it's not that one, we've tried. Okay, not that one. I'm gonna tap it a few times, or we'll try the other one just in case. The fuel pump's definitely doing its thing, I can hear it, that's good. Right, knock that a few times. I think that starter's definitely dead. We're getting relays clicking. So one thing I'll do before we even touch starters, I'm just going to check all the fuses, because that's probably what we should have done first. So we have a fuse panel in here, and we just have to check our, should be one for the starter. Hopefully, I really hope you guys can see what I'm looking at right now. All right, I'm going to have a quick looky-loo through all the fuses. We'll come back if anything looks a bit sus. But I'm glad the fuel pump works, that's good. On further analysis, I saw down the side of the block, she is pissing fuel out down there. So it looks like either an injector seal or the little rubber. Yeah, little rubber here going from the rail to the injector. Yeah, it's pissing out. So we're gonna replace that. The others look okay. So we have to replace that one. That's okay. So I've gone on R31 Wiki just to make sure the wiring is all good. Hopefully, we can just change the starter over and she should work. Fingers crossed. All right, so I've actually just rounded the top bolt out and the whole starter's loose. It hasn't even got a bottom bolt in. That's great. So I think it's a 12 mil from memory. 12 mil, epic. No, I think it's actually, oh, if I disconnect the battery, yes, make sure. Because I've done that in the past. You get too excited and you shock yourself. You guys probably can't see a thing what I'm doing. I've got my, that's why, because my fucking phone light's over here. And I've got you guys on the firewall so I can see the footage coming from the GoPro, so I know where I'm shooting the camera. The starter should come out. I am running out of daylight, guys, too, of course. This is the bastard that was giving my mate grief. Oh shit, there goes a bolt. Come on. I'm trying to pull half the loom out with me. There we go. Alright. So that one. And that one. Where's the bolt go? Where'd you go? Over here. God, there's some hay under here. Like my FD. Oh, there, come out. Alright. Cool. Oh, it's got king springs in it. Holy shit. Lovely. Alright, I'm gonna wrestle that new starter in. This is the new one. This one's the old one. Oh god. That's buggered. That's buggered. I can't. This one turns nicely, that one. So, oh, shush, shush, shush. Fuck off. Fuck you. Go away. Hopefully this is our problem. Lawrence, will you start today? Oh yeah, if you guys don't know, we called the car Lawrence. Why? No idea. I looked at it. I didn't even name my cars, yeah? And this one just looked like a Lawrence, so. Oh, we'll come back when we get this new starter in. And fingers crossed, she'll want to roar into life. We've still got to deal with that leak though. Will it run after 3 years? All right guys, new starter is in. A bit nervous actually. Well, it's all connected. Let's see if anything happens. I don't even know if this battery has enough voltage to turn the car over, but. And we still have nothing. Ah, golly, 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 golly. Tell me this starter's fucking gone too. Alright. Nothing. Do we have another dead starter? We may. But I'm just gonna go over everything and make sure that we've done everything right. Make sure the battery's not too flat either. It shouldn't be, it says, oh, it says it's okay, but we got nothing, not even a click from the starter. Well guys, I was touring around a bit and see if it'll do it again. She's cranking. How good's that? So she won't start. So I think next thing I'm gonna do is check for spark. We definitely have fuel at the injectors as it's pissing out, but I might crank it, give it a bit of throttle, and then if it doesn't start, we'll I mean, injected cars, it shouldn't really matter too much with injected cars to give it throttle, but starter's gone. Got to hit it again. This is supposed to be the good starter. Solenoid's a bit crappy on it, so probably got to take a while for it to get some fuel pressure, but oh yeah, battery's gone. Oh God, do I have a spark plug socket? Please, do I have a spark plug socket? I think I do. Hopefully it's not at my other house. I do. I don't have a drive for it. Buck. I never ever use 3/8 stuff. My only plug socket is 3/8 and I can't get it out. See if I have any. Oh wait, I might have some more spark plugs somewhere. Actually, probably use a plug out of the outlet. I think they're hand tight. Let's have a look. See if we get spark. That's all we got to check. Yes. Pinch a plug out of here. They don't look too bad. Champions. Oh, iridiums. I don't even know if these freaking work. Put it over here so we can arc it on there. Just see if we get spark. Hopefully she'll turn over because the battery's pretty flat. Tell me if she's got spark, guys. Even with the jumper pack on it. Does the jumper pack did? Wow, I charged this overnight too. Fuck's sakes. All right. Now we have the XL to the rescue. Let's see if we have spark. Yeah, we got spark. We got spark. We got fuel. Timing. Who knows? It did run before. So I'm gonna put that back in. Maybe the plugs are fouled up, so we don't know. So I might crank it just for a bit, see if we get a blip of life out of her. Might need to take time for the injectors to spray and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I really want to get those plugs out and have a look at the condition of them. We'll crank it over for a bit, see if we get any life out of it. At least we'll give it a start or a workout. That fuel varnish 100% would have fouled the plugs, in my opinion. We do have crank, which is good. Well guys, I have tried for the last half an hour to get her running, been cranking her over, and we have nothing. So not even a cough, but we have spark, which is good. We have spark from one plug that we tried, but the only problem is, the only spark plug tool that I have is at my other house, because the one I have now is a 3/8 drive, and I have 0 3/8 drives here. Come back probably in a couple of days and we're going to check to see if pull these plugs out. They might be fouled from that shitty varnish fuel. That's probably going to foul them up. Something I did consider when we started it, but also I want to make sure that we're getting fuel past the injectors, make sure if the plugs are wet. We are definitely getting fuel up to the injectors because we are pissing out at injector 1 just here. Good thing is we're getting fuel up to the top, which is fantastic, and the car is getting power, which is great. So I think with a little bit of finessing, getting those plugs out, cleaning them, probably putting a fresh set in will probably be the best option. Right now I'm going to do some work to my daily. Just did all the timing belt and water pump on her, so I'm just going to button up a few things. There was a tiny power steering leak just down here, so making sure that's all good. But up this XL. Well guys, it is a couple of days later and we are back with the mighty Lawrence, the 31. Good news is I got my 3/8 plug tool, so I can pull out plugs and see how we go. So I've just filled her up with about 15 litres of fuel, fresh fuel. So she's got about 20 and a bit in her now, so it should be nice, full of fresh fuel. So first thing I'm gonna do is crack a plug. We're gonna crank her over today, see if our existing plugs are sparking, because last time we put in another plug and that sparked, so we can tell if our plugs are fouled up. And then if we have spark and we're not getting a cough or anything out of it, then we know that probably our injectors are gummed up. I'm gonna whack the battery in, pull the plug out, and I got my jump starter as well, charge the battery up, but that battery is dying. And we'll see if we get spark out of any of the plugs. And if we do, let's see, maybe a bit of a spray of fuel in the intake, maybe. Might get it to pop off. I'll do that and see how we go. All right guys, so I have the battery hooked up. I've got the jumper leads hooked up, so we have a bit more juice from the battery pack, because I don't know how good this battery is. It seems to die off pretty quick. We've got the plug over here, so I'm gonna be watching for spark there. And I've got my trusty bar, so I can smack the starter when we're starting the car. I don't think it's gonna go. See if actually got to see if the fuel pump primes. Yep. We're probably going to get the leak coming out of our, yep, I see it already. And see if it cranks. I don't think we're getting spark on these plugs. I think they're fouled up from that fuel. It's exactly what I thought. So I wonder if I give them a bit of a clean and they might come back to life. All right, so I have cleaned spark plug out. Let's see if we get spark now. Yeah, we got spark. I think all the plugs are fouled up from that bad fuel. I'm gonna clean out all the plugs and we're gonna try and crank her over again and see if she starts. We'll be back when we do that. So guys, after establishing we have spark on the plugs now, I have a suspicion that we may have gummed up injectors, because obviously by the fuel leak over here that we have on this injector, I'm gonna say the injectors might be gummed up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some fuel. I've taken the two front plugs out, so I'm just gonna fill it up with fuel like that, and then with the funnel I'm just gonna pour some down the plug holes, making sure I don't put too much in there because I want to fucking hydrolock on fuel, just to see if it will cough at all. And that way we know that we have spark but we haven't got fuel going past the injectors. So I'll quickly put them in, because you never know if the rings are bad, the fuel might go around the rings. And yeah, if we get a cough, then we know we're not getting fuel past the injectors. All right, that's on, that's connected. Battery, let's see if we get just a cough. Come on Lawrence, just a cough. Who knows, it might pick up the injectors and run. Nah, I doubt that. I think the battery's starting to die anyway. All right, cough, please. Oh, there we go. There we go. And battery's dead. So yeah, she's not getting fuel past the injectors. So I feel the runners, well, they're not warm enough, but just seeing if it fired on any other cylinders, but it just feels like it just, yeah, the front two are slightly warmer than the rest of the cast runners. So in that case, we're not getting fuel past the injectors, so I think the injectors are gummed up. That's what happens. That's why you don't leave fuel in a car that's going to sit for a long time. Just drain it out. It'll save you all this shit. I actually remember the first thing I did when I started building the VL, guys, was I dropped the tank and got all the fuel and everything out of it, because I knew it was going to be sitting for a long time. Same with this thing. So I think what I'm going to do now is try and maybe take this crossover off, and I've got a spray bottle. I'll spray some fuel into it just so it can like atomize in there and try and run off that, and maybe it might pick the injectors back up. But if all six are just not wanting to cooperate, yeah, it won't run very well with this off, but at least I can pull it off and just move it over to the side. All right guys, so what I have done is obviously hooked it up to the XL because we were losing charge. I do have a bottle of fuel down here, so I've just popped that crossover pipe off, and I'm going to open that butterfly and just shoot some in there. I know it's not a carb, but it should suck a lot of that in. Should draw that in when we crank it, and hopefully it'll run. There she goes. There she goes. She's going. Hey. All right, so that's merely just running off the fuel that I sprayed in the intake. Okay, it's running rough. It sounded like it was running on a few cylinders too, not all of them. All right. Yeah, it's just running merely off that fuel. Wow, that was the first start in 3 years. How was that? Yeah, it won't rev or anything because I got the throttle body open, but we have buggered injectors. Great, now I got to pull all that apart. Oh, I had to pull them apart anyway to get to that that leak. So I gotta chase up a set of injectors for it. All right guys, so as you could tell, we got it coughing and sputtering, and it ran for the first time in 3 years. I just tried to get it running before and it absolutely pissed down with rain. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just bottle feed heaps of fuel into the plenum, pop the crossover pipe back on. So yeah, we'll put the camera behind the car too and just hopefully get it to run a bit, give it a few throttle blips. The good thing is I've got injectors coming. So I messaged my mate and he's got a spare set he's gonna give to me for nothing. So thank you, Scotty, you are the best person in the world. I'm gonna get some new injectors in it. So I'm gonna pull all this plenum off. One thing I gotta do is I gotta test if we have pulse, injector pulse as well. Because that could be a reason why we're not getting, because if all 6 to go out at once is a bit odd, so it could be just that varnish fuel gumming it all up. I'm gonna spray a bit of that. So we got it on a setting, I'll just spray it. It just sort of stink, a bit like me on a Sunday morning. Well, I've got the XL charge and the battery up. I've got to get another battery for this car. Just gonna squirt it. So I've got the butterfly open. I'm gonna squirt it on top of the butterfly so it goes up over it and then into the chambers. I'm gonna put a whole bunch in here. I can still smell varnish fuel, guys, so I think it's gonna have some still in the injectors. I've tried to clean them out as best as possible. In hindsight, I probably should have cleaned the injectors out before I did this, but I just wanted to know what was really wrong with it. I mean, they're only stock injectors, not the end of the world. Just sit that over, just so it doesn't have a hectic vacuum leak. And just sit all these pipes, just sit them on there. Let's fire up. She goes. Is that running on the fuel? Is that running on fuel now? It's got an exhaust leak. I think it's running. I think it's running. I don't want to take my foot off the throttle. It's gonna die. It's running. It's running. It's got a massive exhaust leak. Tick, 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 tick. I think it's got an exhaust leak, or I can smell it. Thought it might have a stuck lifter. She runs. Yes, yes. She's running on her own steam now. Oh guys, I'm so excited. Oh, she's coughing. Oh, she's coughing. Give her some throttle. Oh, massive exhaust leak. Sounds like a tractor. Tick, 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 tick. Our alternator's shot because if I pull one of these battery leads off, it just dies. But it's running. The injectors are, it just needed a helping hand, that's all it was. Sometimes you just gotta put a bit of fuel in them and then the cycle will eventually kick the injectors on and just blow out all the gunk. I can still smell the varnish fuel, it's burning it off, so it's definitely running on it. But, yum. She's skipping a bit, but I think we're gonna have to put an alternator on her. Now, one thing is, I don't know how much coolant's in there, so I'm gonna shut her off and I'm gonna fill it up with water, so we don't run it too warm. But yeah, she's all good. All right, I'll shut her off and we'll put some water in her. All right, so I've just tightened the crossover up here, just to make sure there's no air leaks. I've just put those pipes on at the back, and I'll see if she runs any better. I've just filled up, so it only needed probably half a litre, I'd say. Probably half a litre it needed. Starts right up now. Runs a little bit better. But yeah, it's got a massive exhaust leak. I have a feel where that's coming from. Right there. So on the flange down here, the cat's ears, massive exhaust leak. sounds like a tractor. That's easy to do. So yeah, we still got that leak right there. So if you have a look, this injector, there's a hose that goes up to the fuel rail. That's leaking. So I'm gonna let it run for a bit, but yeah, watch, if I pull the lead off. Oh no, it's running now. Hey! Let this thing run for a bit, eh? Okay guys, she has been running for about half an hour now non-stop, and she has quietened right down and she's purring like a kitten. Just like an R31 should. So not bad. 3 years. Running a bit rough at the start, so it's obviously cleared out all the shit. The injectors just came to life, so once I bottle fed it, she just pulled all the fuel through, and I think they just degummed themselves, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought it was going to run for a bit and die when I bottle fed it, and then as soon as it kept running, I was just a little bit shocked. So what I'm going to quickly do now is jump in. Now they got you guys off the head cam. Oh, it's actually got the heater going in here. It's nice and warm. So I got the rear demister and everything on. That's working. So I'm going to put it in gear and we're going to see if she goes. So drive. Oh, revs dropped. Are we going to move? We're moving. We're moving. Cool. I can hear the handbrake at the back getting stuck. All right, reverse. Yep, we're going. Oh, how good's that? I think the next episode's going to be driving here, but we have a few things to address. Our big fuel leak. Look at that, even the number plate light's working. There's just something else about getting the car running when it's been sitting for a while. And like I keep saying, guys, 3 years is not a very long time, but it's enough time for things to go wrong when you leave a car sitting for so long, and when you have it full of fuel as well, look what happens. Well, as you can tell, it's almost completely dark now, so it's been running for a while and it hasn't coughed or died, and it's just running absolutely mint. I'm so happy with that. I knew straight away that we were going to have problems with the injectors, but my mate was going to bring me some too, and luckily they just roared into life. That's what the thing about these cars, guys, they just roar into life. Like these Nissans, things just go wrong and the next day you fire them up and they just work again. I think the next episode's going to be us driving it to my new place. So we'll get the fuel leak and everything sorted. We'll do the injector seals, I think. After that, I want to drive it to my place. Now, my place is about 45 to an hour away, depending on traffic. So it's not a big drive, it's about 40 kilometers, 45 kilometers. Let's see if she'll last. Now, I've got no power steering belt on her, so I'm probably gonna have no power steering, but that's all right, I don't give a shit. Well, guys, how's that? I am over the moon about that. I'm so freaking happy. I was a little bit skeptical we're gonna get it running today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this little procedure and getting this car going. There's a few times I thought this car was gonna kick us in the teeth, but we managed to beat it, and I knew that we're gonna get this car running. I freaking knew it. So I'm so freaking wrapped about that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Next video we'll be driving this car down to the new place, see if it survives the trip, and then whatever else we decide to do with it, I don't even know yet. Nice clean TI. His name's Lawrence. That's about it. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for hanging around if you hung around to the end. And if you like my videos, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. See you later, everybody.